You hear me? You don't see me. You'll see me soon. We're getting set up. We're dropped late. The only negative of not being here in person is you don't get to eat the food with the chevra. So listen, we'll have to figure it out one of these days. Can you hear me? Look at that. Haley Ellie's on the show. Ellie Epstein, Shlita, is joining from. Should I say Flatbush? It still exists? From Flatbush. I'm saying Shtickle out of town from Lakewood. It's like 2 hours away from Lakewood. Hour and a half from Muncie. They say it still stands. Okay, so let's get going. Oh, that's a good mix.
Without the sesame seeds, makes a difference.
Yeah. Do you like it better without them?
Yeah.
Why do they put them on? Does anyone like sesame seeds? I don't understand it.
You have to really toast it first.
That's the part.
Epstein or Epstein?
Ellie Epstein.
That's the new guy.
Shlita.
That's the new number you added?
Yeah. Ellie's an old friend that is joining the Kinyan Mishpacha.
Is he coming on Sunday?
Hey, listen, we have to give him like 5 minutes before we bombard him. You know what I'm saying? There's a big event on Sunday. That's why Ellen wants to know if you're going to be there. Kinyan, this is officially a Kinyan Shir. What does that mean? It just means that we learn Torah. That's really what it means.
Can we do like copies or we need to stop with them?
So I'll tell you, there'll be whatever we want. They encourage bringing Gemaras. I actually wanted to ask Akiva. I think we should do is put them all in just like one car. You know what I'm saying?
There's more than not coming.
No, I know that's the problem. I have to ask Akiva. with the Mahalachas. I could print out copies. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Questions. Yeah, we could do that. I don't know exactly what we're doing yet. That's part of the problem. I didn't think about it. We doing from Bays? Are we doing the last few blocks we learned? Whatever we want. It's just 1,000 people saying you're learning. So
I'm not going to be there in person, but
you're gonna be there. You're gonna be there. You're gonna end up being there, Avi. You're going to be there.
wife's a nurse.
I said night nurse.
Night nurse?
Al tityayish. Okay, we're holding on. Yud Gimel Amid Bees.
The whole beginning.
I know. So I think we should chazal the whole thing. We have an hour. Let's start in Bees and go as far as we can go. You'll at least be on Zoom. I'm bringing Zoom with me. We'll bring the tripod. Computer, I don't know. So Ali, basically, there's a big event on Sunday, Kinyan Succah in Bellworks. So that's what Elam's all excited about. So I want to know if you're ready, going to be there. So you have to see where you're going to be Sunday. Maybe it's a good place to meet up. Okay, so Yud Gimel Amid Beis. Rav David, welcome. Rabbi Kogas, I didn't say hello yet. Yud Gimel Amid Beis. Yud Gimel Amid Beis. We are up to. We're smack in the middle. Shtickle floating over here in the middle of. I don't want to call it random Gemaras, but a little bit of random Gemaras. And the reason why these Gemaras even being brought down is because it's just the same Amar Rav Abba, Amar Rav Huna talking. So we're literally smack in the middle. The first one in line is Dilas Naihu Dami. We just finished discussing utilizing these schach made out of, I don't even know what they're called. What was the name of them? They had a funny name. They didn't have such a funny name. They were called Hirakos. Yeah, that's a good point. Amar Rav Abba, Amar Shmuel. First one line is Loi, about 10 lines down. 10 lines down, Loi, Amar Rav Abba, Amar Shmuel. We'll start from there, and we'll see what we could get. Everyone has food? Everyone has food. Rav David, why are you not eating? We don't like check you in, you know what I'm saying? So eat now. Machal bracha, take something to eat. Amar Rav Abba, Amar Shmuel. Are we all together? Givaldik. 10 lines down, first one on is Lo Shmei Igud. It is Antarctica in here. This is wonderful for the cold. I'm telling you, never made my cold and throat feel better sitting in an igloo giving shir. Baruch Hashem. Amar Rav Abba, Amar Shmuel, Yerakos, veggies. Shamru Chacham b'Pesach. That one is Yaitse, his obligation on Pesach. We can think romaine. We can think marar, something with leaves. Mevien es hatoma. They bring the toma. Now, we didn't really go into that din. It just means it's mekabel tama, like all foods are. And they do not create a chatzitza before the tama. Another din we didn't really go into. The third din is our din. Upaislim b'sukkah. If you were to take your marar leaf, you ordered a little bit extra, and you're like, listen, it's just too expensive. Why do we throw it out? Let's save it. And let's use it for, well, the caterers say let's use it for next year. No one will know the difference. You know, to store it in the freezer, take it out next year. No one will know the difference. It's a true story, by the way. Caterer just told that to me. But yeah, after Pesach, we don't throw out the food. Why would he throw it out? Just put it in storage for next year. I'm like, are you? He's like, come on, the shelf life on these things. I'm like, okay, listen, this is what people are paying $50,000 to go over. Anyways, says the Gemara, yeah, exactly. We made sure he wasn't here. Says the Gemara, so you're not allowed to use it as chach u'paislin b'sukkah. Why? Mishum avir, a different issue, because these branches are very scarce, and therefore you cannot use them as schach. Says the Gemara, my taima. What's the reason? Kivan sits dilachiyavshi. When they dry out, parachi, they're going to crumble. Vinafli, and they're going to fall. Therefore, kiman dilasnayu dami. It's as if it's not here, and therefore you are not yoitze them as being schach. We pointed out yesterday that this is different than we saw on Amud Aleph. On Amud Aleph, we spoke about things that fall, leaves of your schach that fall. And there the issue was what? That you're going to get up and leave because it's not geschmack sitting in a sukkah. So we explained that this is more fundamental because here, what happens when the leaves fall? There's no schach left. On Amud Aleph, it seems there's still be schach. It would just fall down, for example. You know, sometimes the bamboo mats, they shed a little bit, new. There's still bamboo. So then if it gets to the place that what? It's mamish bothering you, that's a problem because you're going to end up leaving your sukkah. But over here, it's more fundamental. These are very thin leaves. And what happens when you use thin leaves for your tzchach? The leaves are going to fall down. You're going to look up one day and shalom aleichem, you got nothing left. Therefore, it is possible. Continues.
But they don't fall in and they stay good.
Oh, so that's an interesting question. That's a very interesting question. You're asking a very interesting question. Rav Avi's asking, it sounds like the issue is only because it's going to happen. So what if you're a gambler? Listen, I'll try it, and maybe it will stay. It sounds like
something doesn't last more than a day.
Yeah, and it sounds like even if you got good luck, it sounds like you're not allowed to do it. That's what it sounds like. But the question is better than the answer.
It's a banana.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. It's not going to be negea. Va'amar Rav Abba, Amar Rav Huna. Now this is a little bit of a a sidebar segue, as you'll see, going a little bit into Tumah V'Tayra. So I don't know how deep we're going to go, but my only question is that it's Thursday. Okay, let's see where we get to. Amar Rav Abba, Amar Rav Huna. Ha-boitzer ligas. Someone is boitzer, he harvests ligas for the wine press. What are you harvesting for the wine press? What do you?
Guess grapes.
You guess grapes. Very good. Hopefully it's grapes. If you're harvesting olives for your wine press, you're gonna have pretty nasty wine because it's gonna be olive. So you're harvesting grapes. Beautiful. Ein loy yodois. It does not have yodois. Literally means a handle. Does not have a handle. We'll see what this means in a minute. That is Rav Abba Amar Rav Huna. V'Rav Menashe bar Gada Amar Rav Huna. HaKoitzer lischach. Someone who cuts down grain to be used as schach. Ein loy yodis. Does not have this entity, this thing called yodis. What are yodis? Again, yodis literally is a handle. Okay, what?
How'd you get grains here?
You're cutting down for schach. So what are you cutting down? You're cutting down some sort of grain, some sort of wheat, something for schach. Or a branch. So far, any of the above is going to be fine. Let's see. In loy yadis. So we don't know what this din of yadis is. So this requires a little bit of a foray into the world of Rashi. Let's allow Rashi to talk, and then hopefully we'll explain afterwards. Let's everyone together. We're going to go into Rashi on the wide lines. Oh, Rabbi Yankiv, Erev Tov. 3 lines into the wide line. Says Rashi, Haboitzer ligas. Haboitzer anavim. You harvest grapes. Lidroich oisam. Duricha is to, what do you do with the grapes before you make wine? Crush. Very good. Bathtub. Squash them, jump on them, you make wine. Beautiful. In lohem yodis. What does that mean? Says Rashi, lahavi ha'etz toma aloich. We're dealing with dinim of toma v'taira. Doesn't have a din of a yad l'toma, a handle for a toma, to bring lahavi ha'etz toma aloichel, toma on the food. Why not? Lefi, because we're in Rashi, 5 lines into the white lines, and you give them a beis. She'inai tzarich lebeis achiza. It doesn't need to be held. And you're not happy with them. And when do we have a din of yadois l'tama? Biha'ar v'haroitev. So again, chulin, hanimili, which is where biyad hatzricha, when you need the handle, oy bikli, or with a utensil, oy be'oichel. So the only time you have this din of yadois le'tama, yadois l'tama is the handle for the tama. Where's the handle over here? What's the handle of the grapes? The vine. The grapes are on a vine. So the question is, and that's what Rashi says, ha'etz, the wood, the vine. Does the vine contract tama over here? Says the Gemara, no. Why not? Because you don't need, or in reality want, the vines. Why don't you want the vines? Because you're creating wine. And all the vines are doing are getting garbage inside your wine that you're going to have to sift out later. So if someone is kaitzer legas, ein alai yadais, there's no din of yadais because you do not want this handle for the tama.
It's teaching us then that all these growing things
Yes.
are makabel tuma,
No.
or just that when we don't want it, it's not
Good. Food is by nature makabel tama. The chiddush we're saying over here is, if I have a food entity with something attached to it, Erev Tov, Hatzlach at the tutor, with something, thank you for coming. Take some sesame chicken for Avram. Oh, but for Avram, he's not going to come back. So bring him some sesame chicken.
in the cup. Going in the cup.
Very good. Let him stinky, not in the shot glass. 100%. So says the Gemara, walking the tutor with a shot glass, not going to go over so well. Says the Gemara, Nachamal, if I make grapes attached to a vine, yeah? Do I want the vine? The answer is no. Because I don't want the vine, the vines are not mikabel tuma. Again, what does this mean? What this means is, are you tameh? Yes. Am I tameh? Yes. We are all tameh. What level? Well, either tameh mace, which everyone is, even kohanim. Let's not make them insulted, so we won't tell that to their face. But l'maisa, we paskin nowadays, everyone's tameh. And if you're not a kohen, then we have all other types of tameh because we're not makbid. Give out.
It can't be because you don't want it, because by schach you want it, otherwise.
Very good. That's exactly what we have to get to. Slow. Perfect. You just jumped to the next step. Let's get there in 1 second. Start with the grapes. By the grapes, says the Gemara, ein lo yodis. Says Rashi, why? Because lo nichale. What? What's I saying? No. You're saying a different shot. Rashi says, lo nichale, you don't want them. You don't want them. Now, it could be the reason you don't want them. It's because it's not food. Very good. Which maybe will now translate over to schach. But the critical nekuda is, if I touch the grape becomes something. What if I touch the vine, which is going to be a very normal case, right? I'm making wine. So maybe I have a simple eitzah. I'll pick up the grapes by the vine, drop it in, and now it won't become tameh. Says the Gemara, that would work. If you touch the vine, ilan din yadais, the handle, the item that you hold the grape with, is not makabel tuma. So far, a beautiful din. But now everyone wants to know what's going on with the schach. Continues the Gemara, continues Rashi. Ha-koitzer l'schach. If someone cuts down for a schach, ein hakashin, the straw, mevi'in toma al ha'eichel, on the food. To loy nichalei, because you're not happy, bichiburin, with their attachment. The eichel bischach loy mibai. You don't need the food part in schach. Vilav dipsailes meruba alav havi pasalei sukkah. So what's going on over here? Anyone know what's going on over here? Which part?
To hold up the straw.
So in the straw world, which part do you want? Which part do you not want? Here it flips. You want the straw, not the kernel, which is the flower entity inside of it, right? So you want the outside. Which part is Mikabel Tama? The inside, the fruit part, quote unquote, whatever that is inside the straw. Because you don't really care about that, therefore the whole thing's not Mikabel Tama. It's the reverse. Eilam Yadais is that if I don't want it, it's not Mikabel Tama. Let's look at Rashi again, very important. Rashi says, I'm not even happy it's connected. Why? Because I don't need the eichel there. Meaning, what's Rashi teaching us? If I were to yield to harvest straw without it having a food component for schach purposes, that would be excellent. And if it didn't have a food component, would it be Makabel Tama? The answer is no, because only food is Makabel Tama. And therefore, it splits the two halachically, and therefore, it is not Makabel Tama. So two beautiful dinim. Let's read it again inside. Memalikin. Wait a minute. Don't test me on King Avna, please. There, I don't know what that's talking about. Yeah, I don't know what that's talking about. I don't know.
Better than just by week.
Oh, you asked a good question. That's a good question. I listen. Toma V'Taira is not a simple entity. So let's.
Banana.
Well, let's say everyone should be asking, who cares if it's Mikabel Toma? Meaning, who cares if it is Tummy or not? The question is if it's an entity that's Mikabel Toma. To be kosher. To be kosher for schach, supposed to be something that is Mikabel Toma. Excuse me. So it's not possible to be Mikabel Toma. But over here, let's let everyone's jumping. I know we're trying to, but let's just take the Gemara one step slower. We are. Let's just get there. It's complicated, so we're gonna take it slowly. Nachma. Amar Rav Abba, Amar Ravun. Habayt legas in lo yadis. Rav Nasha bar Gada Amar Ravuna koyt leschach ein lo yadis. Again, because the oichel component is the part that is mekabel tama. The oichel component is not good for your schach. You don't want them there, and therefore the other part is not mekabel tama. Givaldik says the Gemara, man de Amar. According to the opinion that says koitzer, which is whom Rav Menashe bar Gad Amar Rav Huna, the second din. He says what? This din that when you're koitzer, so kol shekain baitzer, right? Which is a bigger chiddush. I think everyone anticipated this without even realizing it. The second one is a bigger chiddush, obviously. Because the second one, we're saying like a shtickle Torah, I don't really want the food component, so the wheat doesn't get a din of food in time of Kabal Toma. Givaldik. So, but if I hold that over there's no din of Yadais, then certainly what? That certainly by the baitzer, by the grapes, there's no din of Yadais. Why? Because you don't want it. Nimsaye lechamre, because it's going to absorb. Nimsaye, it's going to absorb lechamre, your wine. If you have too many a piece of wood inside of your wine, it's going to ruin your wine. Meaning, the Gemara is saying even deeper. Aside from you have to get rid of the vine, what happens? It's going to mess up. You're going to lose precious wine inside of the vine. Give out. But says the Gemara, Manda Amar Baitzer. It's 825, unfortunately. Manda Amar Baitzer. According to the opinion that says Baitzer, according to the opinion that says you're harvesting the grapes. Shein lo yadais. Avol Kaitzer. Yesh lo yadais. Why? Because you're happy to be able to use it as chach. Why? As the Olam here all said. So it does not scatter. What do you mean it doesn't scatter? What holds wheat down? Oh, the fruit, whatever the guy inside gives a little bit of weight. If there was no guy inside your wheat, kol tov, you don't have any more schach. So you want the thing inside practically to allow it to be schach. Meaning, within the rules of Toma V'Taira, that you don't care about.
But you don't want to fight for it.
Oh, but with regard to schach, you do. So that would be the chiddush. Meaning, that's the machlokes over here. The first opinion says grapes. The second opinion says wheat. If I hold in the case of the wheat, certainly I hold the case of the grapes. It's not makabel toma. But if I only said the case of the grapes, then maybe in the case of the wheat, I'm happy for it to be there. Why am I happy for it to be there? So it doesn't fly away as my schach. Period. The Gemara then is going to continue and say, Neymad Rav Menashe bar Gado Zatanoi. Maybe this din of Rav Menashe bar Gado, who was the second din, who was the din about the schach, is a machlekes Tanoim, and the Siyat Shmaya. We're going to pick it up from there. And okay, we're I guess real Kinyan form. We're mamash stopping in the middle of absolutely nowhere, smack in the middle of a sentence. But it's a hard Gemara. But I do think Baruch Hashem. I think the raya that we got it is that we didn't realize it was 8:25. Because I think we were in the Siyat Shmaya. Rabavi, if I could ask you, I know tomorrow's a Friday, to try to send me a message. Even though often Fridays we don't do a chazar, but this is a hard Gemara. So I would like to try to get Meir. I like to try to get a quick chazara. And Sunday b'siyat Shmaya. If get communicate on the chat whether people are bringing their Gemaras or not. Raveli, Shabbat Shalom. Good to see you.